We're back. I'm John.
And I'm Katie. Welcome to Newtown Orchard and Nursery.
So we have a little bit of a surprise. We've decided to get back into raising sheep. It's been a little over a year, and unfortunately our first experience was with a young Great Pyrenees puppy, Augustine, and he wanted to play with those sheep. So he got in there and played with them to the point where they got through the electrical fence. Eventually they found their way into our apple orchard, and then we couldn't keep them out. So we had to move them on to other people. It's been a little over a year. Gus has had an opportunity to get much bigger and to mature, and his training has...
A lot more obedient.
A lot more obedient, yeah, it's good training. Anyways, so we're getting sheep again. Unfortunately, we have 2 weeks. It's been over 100 degrees, the hottest part of the summer, and we still have to build the paddocks. So come sweat with us as we
get ready to add sheep back to the property.
Yeah, come on this journey with us. Before we get started, I want to talk to you about a paddock. What is a paddock or paddocks? Paddocks are, well, to start with, you fence off an area, a pasture, a pen. Ours is going to be 200 feet long by 50 feet wide. Then we're going to break up that pen or that pasture into 6 components, 6 equal sections, or pretty close to equal. It doesn't have to be perfect. We'll fence off each one of those sections so the sheep will be able to be moved after so many days in an area to the next area. So they're small pens, individual pens within the large pen. The purpose of this is we practice rotational grazing. It's healthier for the sheep, it's healthier for the land. Something you look at, or we look at, is when you put your sheep in a paddock, after about generally 5 days is the maximum you want to keep them in there. And there's a parasite issue regarding that. I'll explain that in a minute. But then after that 5 days, what you're looking for is a third of the grass eaten, is a third of the grass trampled or they bed down and it's been mashed down, and a third of the grass still tall and healthy or whatever. That's like the perfect situation. That's what you're looking for. 3, 3, 3. A third, a third, a third. The parasite situation is sheep are susceptible for the most part. There are some varieties of sheep that handle it better than others. But most sheep will deal with parasites. And when they go to the bathroom, those parasites, those eggs in the poop, in the scat, take 5 days for them to hatch. Once they hatch, if the sheep are eating the grass in the area, they're reconsuming those parasites. And they can get really heavily burdened with a dangerous level of parasites in their system. So at 5 days, you move them off that site to another site and put them there for 5 days. And then once they're there, you move them to the next site. So you're looking for 2 things. You're looking for the time, 5 days, and you're looking for the 1/3, 1/3, 1/3 condition of the paddock in which they're in. What that does is it keeps them healthy, so it keeps their parasite load down, and it keeps the grass healthy because it's not all been eaten up. You've got, again, third of it been eaten, third of it's been smashed with them laying out or trampling it, and a third of it is not been touched for the most part. And then the parasites will, after about 25 days, if they don't have a host, they die. 20 or 25 days. So you don't bring them back to that paddock for, if you can keep them away for 30 days. That's what we shoot for. If you can do 40, even better. But we shoot for 30 days at least before we bring them back to the paddock they were in before. The parasites at that point should be gone, should be dead, and the grass has recovered as well. So that's what a paddock is, and that's what we're going to be making in our pasture. So notice how dry our grass is. When you walk across it, it's just crunch, crunch, crunch. We haven't had rain in almost 2 full months. So we're going to sprinkle and sprinkle and sprinkle and sprinkle to get as much grass in as possible. Now this is our chicken coop. I just finished squaring it off. We've got the sprinklers going in there as well. And over here on the right are where the first paddocks are going to be installed. Our first steps are going to be augering in 5 large wooden posts. These will be our corner supports as well as where we will place our gates. It just so happens that we have some cedar trees we fell, and then we're using them as posts. So I only need 6 feet. These are 12 foot long. So I'll get 2 posts out of each one. Oh, by the way, did I tell you it's hot and dry out here? All right. Second post. And again, not only is this area for support, but that's where a second gate will go. I concreted in around the base of all of them. That really will make a difference in its support. Gus doing the heavy looking on. This is our last post. Get it over to the corner. This is actually a telephone pole that we've reclaimed. Get it into the hole, get it concreted in, and then we'll begin with the T-posts. Now we were originally going to avoid the concrete, not use concrete. We figured the ground would be hard enough. Truth of the matter is, I'm glad we did use the concrete. The difference in how strong those corner posts are makes all the difference in the world. You know, we're going to hold up a pretty lengthy, about 200 feet of fence line here. Okay, now it's time for the T-posts. And again, I'm going to run these about every 12 feet down the length of this pasture. And that's about 200 feet. Notice my shirt's changed? Yeah, we've gone through, I go through about 3 shirts a day. We've done laundry continuously. All right, now that the concrete had a chance to harden up, I built a gate. The one on the left will be for the first paddocks the sheep will go into, and as you notice, the grass is quite green and Gus is awaiting. The one on the right will go into the paddock that I just installed those T-posts for. That's the one that's 50 feet by 200 feet. Oh, by the way, it is so hot and dry out here. I'm going to return to the first 2 paddocks and get those completed. I'll start with those corner gates. We had cattle panel blocking them and electric fence going across them. That was to keep him in. He's a smart dog, and as a puppy, he could squeeze through any little hole, and he figured out every location. So we had to reinforce these with electric wire again and cattle panel. I've already removed the cattle panel from the one on here on the left. Now I'm going to have to remove the one on the right. And if you look at the right side of this gate, you'll see a gap in between that and the post. He might still be able to squeeze through there. So I'm going to figure out a way to shrink that hole. Okay, I've got a piece of cattle panel used for another project, and I have, which I just tangled up on myself. Here we go. And I have a little bit of electrical wire left, and we'll get this installed. I've got my honeybees out and about. Curious, probably the sweat. And this is tough. And I've got some giant horseflies. It's horsefly season. They're not fun. Feel bad for all the horses out there who can't keep them off. All right. Okay. Now I want you to see that I've got electric wire running along the perimeter of this fence. It was to keep the dog in, and now it'll be used to keep the sheep in. These anchors for the hinges have been pulling through the wood so much that they're not holding in very well. So I've got replacements. These are very old, and even the threads here are worn way down, rusted down. So I've got some replacements on these. Next is to install our step-in post for our electric fence, and they go around the inside of the paddock. Electrical posts are in. Now to tap into the current electric line. Current not being a pun, that is. Look how dry that grass is. And just to let you know, these particular electric fence connectors are not my favorite. They have been known to snap. Doesn't take a lot of pressure, especially once it's been out in the sun and the elements. Now I will tell you that screwing them in is not the way you're supposed to be installing these hooks. But that's what we're going to use right now. Hey, that's one pull down. Now I'm extending high tensile electrical wire around the internal perimeter right now. This should keep the sheep in. This one, the bottom nail broke off, but I've got a use for it. There you go. That's less likely to break than that other one. Here we go. So this is paddock number 1. It's complete and ready to go. Now, as you see this stack of debris in the middle here, those are actually chicken tractors that we're not using anymore. So for temporary shade, I brought those in, stood them up on their sides so the sheep can get out of the sun when they need to. This is 4-foot woven field fencing that we're using. Once we have the fence in place, we need to get it as tight as we possibly can. So we're going to use a tractor. We're going to attach it to the bucket in the front, and then we'll back the tractor up, making it, again, as tight as we can without ripping down the fence line. And once we have the fence nice and tight, or what we like to call taut, we go back through and we wire up each one of the T-posts to the fence. And again, take a look on my shirt. I have changed it again. And when we get to the end, we're going to horseshoe nail in the fencing to these posts. And that should complete one side of the perimeter of our sheep paddock. All right, fencing is up. Even the electric fence with the step-in posts is installed. First two paddocks are completed. It was only going to be one paddock. We decided since the grass has grown in so well, we split it in half to make two. And now we're ready for sheep.
Hold that. Go.
Come on, girls. Come on, girls.
Lead the way, Buster.
Buster, come on. It's all right, bud. Oh.
Come on, you guys.
I know, it's so nice and cozy in here.
Oh, feet on your foot again.
Again. Oh my gosh. Can I tell you how many times I'm going to feed on this feet? So, what? Oh,
There we go. Order in just a minute.
So you can see he's wonderful. He's
There we go.
There we go.
Oh, they're just checking everything out. Eating the grass. Look at Augustine. Oh, he's making sure that they're right where they're supposed to be. He's handling that great. Look at him.
Okay, and there you go. We're back in business. Brand new paddocks, brand new sheep.
So when these sheep were delivered to us last night, the person that we got them from told us that they were both of the ewes were recently bred. So the ewes are these two with the black head. That one they named Brownie, the whitish one in the middle they named Lemon Meringue, and then the ram, his name is Buster. And Buster has serviced both of these ewes, so we should be expecting lambs in January. Hopefully it won't be too cold, but we got what we got, so we're really excited about it.
So is Gus. You excited, Gus? Yeah, he's excited.